Aboru Aboye, Orisha Lifestyle for Beginners. Today, I want to introduce into the conversation two of my favorite topics. I love these two topics greatly. One is dreams and the other is divination. I love dreams because dreams represent your own personal oracle. They are your own window into all the cosmic possibilities. Time and space are totally erased in the dream world. And very similarly, divination transcends space and time. Past, present, and future all converge in your divination. Likewise, divination can tell you, divination allows you to see around corners, right? And things that you can only see the front of, divination can show you the back of, right? So they're great learning opportunities. That's the thing that I like about divination and dreams. You get to learn very, very profound lessons in a totally unique way. And so as a teaching tool, divination and dreams are indispensable and they're totally unique. Today, I want to focus on three categories of dream and divination. The mundane category, the cautionary category, and then the transformative category. So let's say on the mundane level, you go to the library today. You love the library. You're a bookworm. You spend the day there. You get some cool books. You go home. You read. You go to bed and you dream about being in the world's biggest library and just how much fun it is to be in the library. That's pretty mundane. It's pretty straightforward, right? Your mind is telling you you did something that you enjoyed. You had a great learning opportunity and you took advantage of it, and we're happy. Likewise, you may go for a divination. Let's say you go to consult Ifa, and the Ifa is cast, and the verse comes up of Obatala wants to learn Ifa, so he goes to Orumila's house. But Orumila's not there, so Obatala's got to learn from Orumila's son. And every time he goes, Orumila's son teaches Obatala some super deep Ifa, and this happens every 4 days for like 16 days. And each time Obatala is blown away because it's Orumila's son that's giving him these lessons. And so, one of the things that you could discern from that is you're going to go into a learning opportunity and you need to take advantage of it. You need to sacrifice so that you can learn, okay? And you can grow and you can develop and be, enhanced from this opportunity. Mundane, right? Likewise, on the cautionary category, you might dream something like you're riding a bus, and on the bus you're sitting next to someone who you know, and the rest of the people on the bus are unknown to you. Some of the places are familiar, some of the places are not familiar. People get on, people get off, and then you wake up. And the dream itself, it doesn't really have any salient, powerful images or that doesn't evoke anything too much. It's just kind of an odd dream. There's enough familiarity there for you to be comfortable, but then there's enough unfamiliarity there for you to be confused and a bit intrigued. You don't know what to make of it, but you spend all day scratching your head because you remember the dream very clearly. Okay? That is your mind that's trying to draw your attention to something. It's saying that there's a detail. There's something that you need to pay attention to. There's of course there's the idea that you're taking this trip, but if you're not taking a trip, then your mind is trying to use enough of the familiarity to make you think very closely about what you're doing. Now, in divination, you may go to consult Ifa, and The verse, if I might give you a verse that talks about, for example, a person who has sacrificed to acquire something, okay? But then if I said you need to make a subsequent sacrifice in order to keep the thing that you acquired. And the verses go into detail in a variety of different scenarios about people who failed to make the secondary sacrifice to keep what they had sacrificed to acquire. Okay, so then the owl is going to tell you, hey, you need to exercise follow through. It's not enough to get it. You've got to maintain it. You got to improve it, right? Cross your T's, dot your I's, be litigious and thorough in your process. All right. That's a cautionary dream and a cautionary divination. Then in the third category, you've got the transformative dream and divination. You might dream, for example, that, you know, you might dream that there is a huge cataclysmic event that takes place, right? Not necessarily destructive, but there's just something enormous that happens, and you start off perhaps, in one capacity, you're small or you're inert or you're unable, and then in the process you fly, you develop some kind of special powers, or you get specially recognized or empowered or elevated, right? Something happens and everyone is lifting you up, okay? Or you're you know what I mean? You're experiencing some kind of a climactic experience, some, what I mean, a recognition or empowerment, and you awaken from this dream, and wow, you can feel that something is different. Okay. Similarly, you can have a consultation, the divination performed, wherein, I don't know, if I may tell you, well, if I may tell you the verse of someone who actually dies, a person who's going to be initiated, right? And this person is 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 dies in the initiatory process, right? And in that process of dying, a series of priests will use different kinds of magical powers and abilities to escape from the scene because they're afraid. But then one priest will remain and will revive the initiate and carry him back to the king to say the ritual has been completed, and here is our new practitioner, our new devotee. Ifa will be telling you, hey, there's something, this is powerful, transformative energy that's around you, and you need to pay attention to the fledgling. You need to be attentive to the beginner. You need to keep your eyes and your ears open for this being, even if it is yourself, who is in the process of starting something that's going to completely transform identity and consciousness. Okay. Now, the specifics of each of those categories is less important than what makes them either mundane, cautionary, or transformative. Okay, what is it? There's an overlap. Okay, there's an overlap. If you imagine, two circles. Yeah, I like Venn diagrams. So if you have two circles, this represents dreams, this represents divination, and then where they overlap right there, you see that where they overlap? That is symbols. The space where dreams and divination overlap is through symbols. And a symbol is not a visual representation of something else. It's not a symbol. A symbol is a container of energy. Okay. And so by analogy, you know how sometimes you may go someplace or you smell something, and this smell instantly brings you into an experience, something that you have done before or a place you have been before or someone you knew, but instantly you smell this and you're there, and your body can react instantly. Okay. That's what I'm talking about with a symbol. But a symbol, smell is working through your olfactory senses. A symbol is working through, well, it's working through your eye in a way, but because you can see the symbols in your dreams, your eye isn't necessarily necessary. It's a something that's deeply embedded in your psyche, in the collective consciousness of your lineage or of your ethnic group or even of all of humanity. There are symbols that are embedded in our psyche. These symbols are containers of energy, and when you come in contact with those symbols, the energy is released. So depending on what kinds of symbols there are and where they are arranged, your dream and your divination can be mundane, it can be cautionary, or it can be transformative. Okay. Now, here is the real crux of the matter for you as the beginner. You can go, and there are some standardized symbols, and dictionaries of symbols, if you will, that have some value. Some value. But the real value of the symbols is, as I said, it's embedded in your own psyche. The symbols are coming from within you, and your soul consciousness is what's serving up the symbols in a particular kind of pattern or order, so that you can experience that energy, right? It's not what's in the book per se, and that's true of divination as well as it is of dreams. It's what you have inherited and what you have chosen in the prenatal realm that makes the symbol meaningful to you. So how do you know what each of the symbols mean to you? How do you discover really and truly from the inside out what this means to me? You've got to go through a process of self-discovery. It's never going to be enough. If you just wait for me to interpret your dreams, if you just wait for me to interpret the message of Ifa for you, and right, you're going to perpetually just be a consumer, right? And you're only going to get half of the message, right? But the moment that you take it upon yourself to explore your own dictionary of symbols, right? And cultivate and organize how these symbols register to you, that's when you're going to start to become empowered. That's when you're going to start to be able to seek out certain kinds of symbols in your dreams and in your divination. And when you get the interpretation, then it's going to make that much more sense because you already have an inside out point of reference. All right. Self-discovery is your first step in Orisha lifestyle. It's the most important thing that you can do from the inside out. This is what's going to unleash your superpowers. The second step in amplifying your own, access to the cosmic energy is to have a daily practice that's going to help you maintain and enhance your connection to those symbols. And then lastly is the way you apply those symbols, right? How are you going to now arrange your life and your service so that you can direct all that energy to a cause or to a particular group of people, or even if it's just a single individual? Some people only serve one person, right? Everybody doesn't serve the multitudes. You might just serve one person, right? But it still requires that you focus your surface and your intent on directing your cosmic energy and tapping into your symbols so that you can provide an increasingly better and more powerful service to those who you were born to serve. Aboru aboye, aboshishe.